Okay, hi Yvonne. I've got your ad up here, and I noticed that there's no PDF or anything, so I'm going to have to scroll around like this. I can't zoom out or zoom in without the PDF. So unfortunately, I won't be able to draw any guides to show you alignment or anything like that. So sometimes it's a really good idea just to include your PDF. I think so. That way we can really take a look at it by zooming in and backing off and drawing guides, etc., etc. So the first thing I'm noticing is that you start out with this big giant placement of the logo, and I think that's a mistake. I do. Think about a Nike ad. Do they ever start their ads with a big giant logo? No. And the reason they don't is because what you're doing is you're trying to kind of subliminally allow the viewer to accept the logo instead of kind of force feeding it to them. And one of the best ways to do that is to allow the ad to speak for itself and then presenting the logo. That's typically why we see a logo down in the lower portions of the page somewhere. So I would reconsider that. Speaking of the logo, the placement of the logo, as we can see, let me see. It looks like this is the version you're using right here. And as you can see, if you look at your placement of your logo, what you've done is you've stretched it out and kind of squished it. You can clearly see by the shape of the amethyst itself. See how yours is short and fat and the accepted version is long and thin? Same thing with the type itself. Look at how your axis is on this really almost like this angle right here. And their axis is more on an angle like this. So what you've done is when you placed it, it looks like you just took the corner and stretched it, and which subsequently squished it this way and stretched it this way. So whenever you place something, you want to constrain the original proportions. That's critical, especially in branding and logo placement, etc. I recommend using using the formula that I demonstrated in the how to do milestone 1 video, by using one image and maybe, I guess it would be good to use this image with the Chihuahua, and then just compose your text on this right here. In other words, we don't need this color bar right here. It's just adding, it almost looks like it could be something different on the magazine page. So you've got this, your type, and that's great. But what I would say is I would start with a headline, okay? Then go to your subhead or your little information here called action. That's great. But you never tell your viewer where Amethyst Bay is located or how can we get in contact with them. I know I'm kind of laughing because it seems so, something that would be so obvious, but it's so easy to forget. So we got to get contact information in here, okay? How do I get a hold of this place? Where is it? What's the telephone number? What country is it in? You know what I'm saying? Because that way you can ascertain immediately how much you might be spending. And, it's a lot different if Amethyst Bay Resort and Spa were located right down the street from you. It would be a lot more affordable to board your pet, so to speak, than it would if it were located in St. Thomas. I think that's a pretty relevant and pertinent piece of information that the viewer would certainly appreciate. I would use an image here instead of this vector Santa Claus hat, because immediately you can tell that style is just too far different for it to be anything remotely close to realistic. Now, I know the little Santa hat is not supposed to be realistic, but nonetheless, can we find an image of a little Santa hat, an actual bitmap image, as opposed to this vector image? I think that would really be super interesting. Otherwise, I think this looks great. The slipper and that little guy there. So that's my recommendations. I noticed there's only one ad. This is from Milestone 1, which required 2 ads. So we're missing an ad here. Just want to let you know. All right. Good job. Any questions? Give me a holler. Thanks very much.